Whispering Shadows. Written by Ethan Blackwood and narrated by Benjamin Wilson. Amidst the oppressive gloom of the city, Emily Black, a history teacher with a fervent curiosity for the uncharted, chanced upon an advertisement for a teaching position in Pine Hollow. An insatiable thirst for knowledge consumed her, and the sinister allure of the town's enigmatic history compelled her to abandon the bustling city. As Emily traversed the confines of Pine Hollow, an oppressive presence enshrouded her. The surrounding woods seemed to pulsate with a malignant energy, conjuring images of the chilling tales that she had once voraciously consumed. In her new life in the town, Emily was beset by a series of disconcerting events. The people were guarded and surreptitious, while shadows skittered at the periphery of her vision, and spectral murmurs echoed through the trees as darkness descended. Emily's mounting disquiet, married with her unquenchable curiosity, drove her to delve into town's cryptic past. Legends of settlers entwined with witchcraft and other nefarious practices enthralled her, yet the records were fragmented and scarce, as if purposefully shrouded to conceal disquieting truths. Probing further, Emily unearthed his history, marred by inexplicable vanishings and bizarre occurrences spanning centuries. The townspeople remained reticent, unwilling to divulge their stories to an outsider. The secrets of Pine Hollow were deeply entrenched in the town's very core, and her pursuit of the truth would prove treacherous, altering her life irrevocably. Undaunted by the townsfolk's reluctance, Emily pressed on, striving to unveil the hidden darkness. She engaged the residents in conversation, seeking insight into the town's eerie past. Their evasive politeness only served to fuel her suspicions. Emily's nights were consumed by relentless research and contemplation of the enigmatic whispers that haunted the woods. Compelled by an inexplicable force, she ventured deeper into the forest's heart, intent on unearthing the source of the sinister murmurs. On a fateful moonlit night, Emily stumbled upon arcane symbols etched into the gnarled bark of ancient trees. The intricate sigils were simultaneously familiar and alien, their origins lost to the ravages of time. A shudder of dread rippled through her as she traced the cold grooves, sensing a connection to the mysterious forces permeating Pine Hollow. In the stillness, a haunting chant wafted through the trees. The spectral melody beckoned her, and she cautiously followed the voices, her heart thrumming with anticipation and fear. The path led her to a secluded clearing where shrouded figures encircled a stone altar, their visages obscured by darkness. The eerie chant reverberated through the night, pulsating with ancient malevolence. Horrified yet captivated, Emily watched the ceremony unfold, aware that she was privy to a sinister secret guarded by Pine Hollow for centuries. When her foot snapped a twig, the hooded figures swiveled towards her with a collective hiss, their eyes ablaze with otherworldly malice. Fear gripped her, and Emily fled into the night, the echoes of the chant pursuing her every step. As she stumbled through the forest, Emily knew she had unearthed a terrifying truth, one that would not be easily forgotten or forgiven. She was now irrevocably bound to the darkness that engulfed Pine Hollow, and she had no choice but to confront the sinister forces that threatened to consume her. The following day, her mind reeling from the chilling encounter in the woods, Emily sought out the town's sheriff. Her voice quivered as she recounted her harrowing experience, detailing the hooded figures and their sinister ritual. Sheriff Donovan, a stoic man exuding authority, listened to her story with practiced indifference. He dismissed Emily's claims, insisting that Pine Hollow was a peaceful town and that the locals were entitled to their privacy. The woods, he asserted, harbored no dark secrets or mysterious cults. Frustrated by his blatant disregard, Emily vowed to continue her investigation alone. She refused to be silenced by the town's determined ignorance, driven to expose the hidden truth lurking beneath the town's placid facade. Emily's days became consumed by her research and nightly forays into the woods, her every thought fixated on the enigmatic cult. Her obsession drove her deeper into the shadows, leaving her isolated and vulnerable. One tempestuous night, as Emily lay asleep in her small rented cottage, she was awakened by an ominous scratching at her window. With a sense of dread coiling in her stomach, She hesitantly peered through the rain-streaked glass, only to see a terrifying figure with glowing red eyes and twisted claws. Her scream pierced the night, and she bolted from the room, her pulse pounding in her ears. As she glanced back, the figure had vanished, leaving only the rain and darkness in its wake. The following morning, with her nerves frayed and exhaustion clouding her thoughts, Emily resolved to leave town. Her dreams of uncovering the town's mysteries had been supplanted by a desperate need for escape. As she packed her belongings and bid farewell to her once enticing sanctuary, Emily couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched, hunted by the shadows that whispered her name. Despite her departure, Emily knew that Pine Hollow's dark secrets would haunt her, forever intertwined with her own fate. Unbeknownst to her, the town's sinister past would continue to claw at the edges of her reality, its malevolent influence seeping into the very fabric of her existence. Emily sought refuge in a motel on the outskirts of another town, the lingering fear of the sinister presence still gnawing at her. As she tried to regain some semblance of normalcy, she couldn't ignore the pull of the Pine Hollow's dark secrets, the unanswered questions that haunted her every thought. Determined to find answers, Emily delved into the town's history, uncovering a lineage shrouded in mystery and the macabre. The town had been founded by settlers drawn to the arcane, practicing witchcraft and dark arts in search of power and knowledge. As Emily's research unfolded, she discovered accounts of inexplicable occurrences spanning decades, people vanishing without a trace and enigmatic symbols etched into the woods. She knew she had stumbled upon something significant, a chilling pattern that connected the cult to the town's ominous past. Emboldened by her findings, Emily returned to Sheriff Donovan, presenting her evidence and demanding action. To her surprise, the sheriff's stoic facade crumbled, revealing a man shaken by the truth he had long denied. He promised to investigate, his newfound determination fueled by Emily's unwavering conviction. However, any relief Emily felt was short-lived. That very night, as she lay in her motel room, the soft, insidious chanting from her nightmares crept through the walls, a sinister lullaby that chilled her to the bone. In terror, she peered out the window to find the hooded figures, their black robes shrouding them in darkness, gathered menacingly outside her door. A wave of dread washed over her, the realization that they had found her, that they would not let her escape their grasp. Panicked, Emily fled the motel, her car speeding into the night, the cult's relentless pursuit driving her further into the abyss. Weary and desperate, Emily arrived at a small town on the edge of the state, seeking refuge from the nightmare that had consumed her life. She tried to find solace in her anonymity, but the shadows of Pine Hollow still clung to her, an inescapable specter that whispered of the darkness she had left behind. Emily knew that she couldn't run forever. She had to confront the malevolent force that had ensnared Pine Hollow and end its reign of terror once and for all. Armed with her newfound knowledge of witchcraft and demonology, she reached out to the FBI, hoping they could aid her in her quest. As the days stretched into weeks, Emily's sanity teetered on the brink of collapse. The specter of Pine Hollow haunted her every moment, its sinister influence seeping into her very being. Then one fateful night, the familiar chanting echoed through the air, the cult's presence a tangible weight upon her soul. She looked out her window to see the hooded figures assembled once more, their intentions clear as they encircled her hiding place. Heart pounding, Emily knew that her time had come. She would either face the darkness and triumph or succumb to its malevolence. With a desperate courage, she confronted her pursuers, her mind and body armed with the knowledge she had painstakingly acquired. As the cultists advanced, Emily brandished a vial of blessed salt, which she had prepared during her research. She hurled it at the ground, creating a protective barrier around her. The hooded figures recoiled, their dark power momentarily stymied by the sanctified defense. Seizing the opportunity, Emily chanted incantations she had learned from ancient texts, her voice a steady force against the darkness. As her words resonated with power, the cultists staggered back, their malicious energy weakening under the weight of her determination. The leader of the cult, a tall figure shrouded in shadow, stepped forward, his voice low and menacing. He raised his hands and summoned a dark force, aiming it at Emily. Her heart raced, but she stood firm, countering the attack with a spell of light, creating a brilliant explosion that threw the leader back. The remaining cultists hesitated, their resolve faltering as they witnessed their leader's defeat. Seizing the moment, Emily brandished a sacred talisman and spoke the final words of an exorcism rite. The cultists howled in pain as their dark power was ripped away, leaving them weakened and broken. In the end, Emily emerged victorious, the cult's power broken by her unwavering resolve. The shadows of Pine Hollow were cast aside, their sinister grip loosened at last. And yet the darkness lingered, a quiet whisper in the corner of her mind, a reminder that true evil could never be completely vanquished. Though she had triumphed over the cult and freed the townsfolk from its malevolent grasp, Emily knew she would forever carry the burden of that darkness within her. As she left the small town, seeking solace and redemption, Emily's journey took her far from the haunting memories of Pine Hollow. But no matter how far she traveled, the echoes of her past would always follow, a specter of the struggle that had both defined and consumed her. In the end, Emily found herself forever changed, the scars of her battle with the darkness an indelible part of her soul. She would carry on, haunted yet resolute, her spirit a testament to the power of light in a world where shadows whispered and darkness beckoned.